My sister said it loud enough for the crystal chandeliers to hear, loud enough for the entire room to turn. I didn't flinch, didn't blink, didn't defend myself. I stood there in a borrowed dress that didn't quite fit, heels that pinched, posture straight, but invisible exactly how they preferred me. My parents sat 2 chairs away, watching, not shocked, not offended, just comfortable. That was the moment I stopped being their daughter and became something else entirely. It wasn't always like this, or maybe it was, and I just didn't see it. Growing up, I thought my sister was brilliance wrapped in cruelty. Sharp, admired, untouchable. She got the praise, the opportunities, the rooms I wasn't allowed into. I got silence, but there were moments rare, flickering ones when she'd braid my hair, or whisper secrets at night, or call me useful. I mistook that for love. My parents, they believed in hierarchy, and I was always surplus. Stay out of the way, my mother would say. Observe and learn, my father added. So I did. I observed everything. The betrayal wasn't one moment. It was a pattern, a slow bleed. But there was one night that clarified everything. I wasn't supposed to be home. That's what they thought. I came back early. Quiet, invisible, a habit by then. Voices drifted from my father's study. Low. Calculated. My name came up. I froze. She doesn't need to know, my sister said. Legally, she's still a liability, my father replied. And emotionally, my mother asked. A pause. Disposable. That word didn't echo. It settled. Heavy, final. I didn't cry. I didn't confront them. I went upstairs, packed nothing, and sat in the dark. That night, I stopped reacting and started planning. People underestimate silence. They think it's weakness. It's not. It's observation without interference. For months, I stayed exactly who they thought I was. Quiet, insignificant, harmless. Meanwhile, I mapped everything. Their business structure, their offshore accounts, the shell companies layered like lies. My father trusted complexity more than people. I learned both. Passwords weren't hard. My sister reused patterns. She always believed she was the smartest person in any room. I let her keep believing that. I gathered documents, transferred copies, built a timeline of transactions that didn't align with declared assets. Money trails are honest. People aren't. Then I found the contract, buried deep, a clause that shouldn't exist. My name tied to a dormant account set to activate only under specific conditions. Conditions they were quietly arranging. An accident, a legal death, a transfer of liability. Clean, efficient, invisible. They weren't just dismissing me. They were erasing me. That's when the plan sharpened. No emotion, just precision. I didn't go to the police, not yet. Too messy, too loud. I went higher. There are systems above systems. People who don't care about family politics, only breaches, patterns, anomalies. I submitted everything anonymously. Encrypted. Time-stamped. Irrefutable. Then I waited. Patience isn't passive. It's controlled timing. The gala was their masterpiece. A room full of influence. Contracts waiting to be signed. Investors circling like sharks that thought they were the predators. My sister owned that room. Or thought she did. That's why she said it. She's a nobody. She's a joke. She needed the audience. Validation always made her careless. I stood there, absorbing the sting like it was expected. Because it was. What wasn't expected was the sound behind me. Heavy doors. Opening. Slow. Deliberate. The kind of silence that follows authority, not noise. Conversations died mid-sentence. Glasses paused midair. Even my sister turned. For the first time that night, I smiled. The man who walked in didn't belong to their world. He belonged to consequences. Uniform sharp enough to cut through illusion. Presence that rearranged power without saying a word. A 5-star admiral. And he was looking at me. Not past me. Not through me. At me. Miss, he said my full name. Perfectly. Publicly. Recognition rippled through the room like a crack in glass. My sister's smile faltered. My father stood too quickly. My mother's hand tightened around her glass. Good. They were starting to understand. I believe you've been waiting, the admiral continued. I nodded. Small. Controlled. I have. He stepped forward, handing me a sealed folder. Thick. Heavy. Final. Inside it everything I had sent. Now stamped. Verified. And weaponized by people far more powerful than my family ever imagined. Behind him, more entered. Not loud. Not chaotic. Just inevitable. Officials. Quiet authority. Eyes that had already judged. My father tried to speak. This is a misunderstanding. It isn't, I said. My voice didn't shake. That surprised them more than anything. My sister laughed. A brittle sound. You think you did this? I looked at her then. Really looked. For the first time, she seemed small. I didn't think, I said. I planned. The room shifted. All those people who once orbited my family stepped back. Distance is the first sign of collapse. Documents were presented. Questions asked. Answers demanded. My father's confidence cracked first. My mother followed, anger replacing composure. My sister? She stayed silent. Finally, they were escorted out. Not dramatically, not violently, just removed, like something no longer relevant. I stayed, not because I needed to, but because I could. The Admiral inclined his head slightly. Respect. Justice favors the prepared, he said. I almost smiled. Later, when the room emptied and the chandeliers dimmed, I stood alone where they once ruled. Same space, different gravity. I wasn't invisible anymore. Not because they finally saw me, but because I no longer needed them to. They called me a nobody, a joke, disposable. They were wrong. Not about who I was then, but about what I would become. I didn't destroy them out of anger. Anger is loud, sloppy. I dismantled them with patience, with precision, with silence. And the best part, they never saw me coming. Not once. Not even when I walked into the room.